Alright, welcome to Pivot Table 101. Now the purpose of this section is to really just lay some of the groundwork before we get into the more advanced topics. So we'll practice inserting pivots, manipulating views, exploring some of the basic options, and then later in the course we'll start to dig in deeper. So let's start with a question. Why pivot tables? Why are pivot tables one of the most important and powerful tools in Excel when it comes to data analysis? So let's answer this with an example. Let's say you have state-level data spanning multiple years, and you're looking at total population and student population. If you only had access to this data in its raw format, how would you answer the following questions? Number 1, which state had the highest population in 2002? Alright, that one's not so bad. Maybe you could just throw some filters on the header row, drill down to 2002, and then sort column C to answer the question that way. Definitely a perfectly valid approach. But what about number 2? In which year was overall US population the highest? Now you may need to start adding some intermediate steps, to aggregate the data at the national level and then start sorting from there. So definitely still doable, but now it's becoming a little bit more tedious. Which brings us to number 3. Which states saw a decline in student population rate as a function of total population between 2003 and 2004? Now we're starting to get into the type of question that pivot tables are incredibly good at answering. Well, of course, you could answer this question without using a pivot. It would involve multiple, often tedious steps to get there, and that's exactly what pivot tables are designed to do very quickly and very efficiently. And last but not least, what if you don't even know what you're looking for? So each of those 3 questions that we just talked about assume that you have some sense of the story or the trend or the insight that you're trying to expose. What if you're approaching a data set in a purely unbiased way, meaning that you don't know what the story is going to be, and you need an analytics tool that's going to help expose those insights for you? That's another key benefit of pivot tables, and another reason why they're such an important tool in Excel. So quick Pivot Table 101, the way I usually describe it is that pivot tables allow you to easily organize, filter, summarize, and analyze raw data. So, very famous Einstein quote, "Analyzing data without a pivot is like hammering a nail with a noodle." Now, obviously, Einstein didn't actually say that, but it gets the point across. Fact is, if you're analyzing data in Excel and you're not using pivot tables, you're making your life 10,000 times harder than it needs to be. Pivot tables are the tools that enable efficient data analytics in Excel, and they will make your life much, much easier. So think of a pivot table as kind of like a layer that sits on top of a raw data set. So you're not actually replicating the data, you're just creating a lens through which you can slice and dice and filter and organize and really explore your data in a very flexible and powerful way. So to wrap things up, I want to talk about the 5 key benefits to remember about pivot tables. Number 1, they're powerful. They allow you to uncover new insights and answer important questions about your data. Second, they can be beautiful. You can apply custom styles, conditional formatting rules, and even charts and graphs to help bring those pivots to life. Number 3, they're incredibly fast. You can build customized views, add filters, calculate brand new fields in a matter of seconds. Fourth, they're accurate. This is an important one. By automating calculations through a pivot table, you can minimize human error and avoid mistakes that you would have made trying to approach the same problem manually. And last but not least, number 5, pivot tables are unbelievably flexible. So you can manipulate table layouts, create dynamic views and reports that you can update and adjust with a click of a button. So there you go. Powerful, beautiful, fast, accurate, and flexible.